Good evening and welcome to Live from your hometown, Mahanoy City, at the Slavic Folk Festival.
Did you hear Chopper 22 just pass
whizzed
by
right
with pilot
by.
Bob Gobla into the sun? Mahanoy City takes its name from an Indian tribe, but its first permanent residents came from Europe. The dimensions of the city are exactly as they were when Mahanoy was first incorporated in 1863. It's still 5 blocks long, or rather I should say 5 blocks wide and 22 blocks long, appropriately enough, 22. The big business was originally coal mining, and the town is known for the row house companies that the...
Still here.
Yeah, the coal barons built for the miners and their families. Other miners lived in patch towns like New Boston, built right near a large mine shaft. We were hoping to have video for this story if you're wondering what's going
we're
awry.
in a live video enclosure right here now. The city hasn't changed in all those years.
No. The inhabitants came from Central and Eastern Europe. They lived modestly, but some, like a guy named John Smith, whose real last name was Chestnut, prospered, and he built a fabulous house. Maybe we'll be able to see a picture of that a little bit later on. In any event, this festival is a celebration of the fact that while the people of Mahanoy City came from several different European countries, many of them share a common Slavic heritage.
And here, the story of a church is the story of the town. Michael Gargiulo tells us more. Mike?
Larry, thank you much. I'm coming from Tilly Kolbach's front porch. Tilly just went inside to get some pierogies for me, but in the meantime, we want to talk about the political divisions of Europe, which are responsible for people coming here. People who came to Mahanoy City were displaced by kings and empires and that sort of thing. They came here to find the social, political, and religious freedom they couldn't find at home. Maintaining good relations with your neighbors was pretty much a necessity for the early settlers of Mahanoy City, who moved into these row houses built right next to each other. Every morning, they descend by hoists like this one far underground to work the mines. St. Mary's Byzantine Catholic Church in Mahanoy City was founded by some of those early settlers in 1891. Its architecture reflects their roots: Slovaks, Ruthenians, and Ukrainians, who came here shortly before the breakup of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. In many cases, their religion was all they brought to the New World. The church was the center of their life, and they literally gave everything they had to adorn it.
People were known to mortgage their homes to help pay for the building of a new church.
That attachment is still present today, despite the fact that the parishioners' homelands have been erased from the political map of Eastern Europe.
This is true. Most of the countries do not exist, and you know, we really don't have a lot of information or background from that. But I think it's something from within, you know, something that's passed on from generation to generation, and you kind of feel that history, you know, flowing through. And
it's a whole lifestyle, and it's our Eastern Christianity, our Eastern spirituality that even enables us to have that trait of celebration. That's what gives us the joy. That love of God just spills out into love of one another and love of life.
And Father Krepp wants to make sure that everyone realizes his church embraces many nationalities, and you'll find most of them right out in the street enjoying all types of different food. Go ahead, Larry and Deb.
All right, Michael, you know, talking about ethnic heritage, and we're right here in a street that hasn't changed since the 1800s. Houses that still look very much the same, seeped in atmosphere here. It's really wonderful, nice place to be.
Pine Street. They blocked off the whole block. The ladies and the gentlemen were busy scrubbing all week their front porches, getting ready for the festival. But apparently, it's too bad Paul Hepner can't be here. Apparently, he saw something ominous on his computers this afternoon and decided to stay back at the ranch.
Stuck in the studio, is that right?
With Paul and Liz.
I'm penned in here, Larry and Deb. That's right. You know, when the weather becomes...
Treatment for MS. Coming up, we'll have a look at the day's news and business, and we'll have more live from your hometown in Mahanoy City, where they make a special claim on the history of cable TV.
All right, Paul, thank you. And in Mahanoy City, we are live from your hometown. The skies are still fairly clear, and it is very warm here. And here's a look at the day's business news. Gold closed at 300...
Little old Pine Street in Mahanoy City, but this weekend it's transformed into a Slavic festival.
Trying the food yet here, Deb?
They're going to have to get the wide-angle lens out, Larry. The halushki, the pierogi, the blini, or the potato pancakes. It's
gain weight just listening to the pronunciations of it all.
Yeah, really. Well, J.J. Davis will join us with a live sports report from here at the festival.
And he'll be telling us about the tradition of football in this city of champions.
to share this with JJ?
I'm not so sure I want to share it with you, Deborah.
Funnel cakes.
My favorite sport here is funneling food down my throat. How about you,
Mega
JJ?
calories. JJ?
Double D, you and Larry, let me tell you, we're not going to give you any gifts then, huh? What do you think of the wrapping here, Joanne?
Very pretty.
What about you, Anna?
The gifts are lovely in the packages, I'm sure.
Not bad. What about you, Dee?
Oh, I love them.
And Dee Marie?
Oh, I love the pretty colors.
Pretty colors indeed. You know, is it me or does it seem it's a festival atmosphere all year round here in Mahanoy City? I mean, with the high school and everything, it seems like every time you turn around, they're putting up another championship banner.
That's right, they are.
It starts on the football field. The Golden Bears have stuffed opponents, winning 2 Eastern Conference titles in the past 3 seasons. And then there's the girls' basketball team. Mahanoy area has outjumped everybody else, winning the state championship the last 2 years in a row.
The athletes have been putting 110% effort, extra effort into. They themselves want to be better.
We have good coaches. I think we have a lot of cooperation with the school district and the community.
Mahanoy City is like all others here in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's got coal in its blood. They worked the mines, and they worked hard. And that same hard work ethic has been passed down from generation to generation.
You didn't have everyday things like they have today. Television, we're on. But you didn't have it them days. You didn't want a nickel, you went out and worked for it. You pick huckleberries or something. You made a quart of huckleberries.
From my parents, I learned a lot, like, to try to achieve in things, especially in education, because they said that they had to work hard, so I have to work hard too.
So next time you see the Golden Bear football team run through the league for another championship, or the girls basketball team hoisting up another trophy, it should come as no surprise. Mahanoy City is the city of champions. Dee and Larry, please, y'all, don't stuff your face. Wait for me.
Okay, JJ, you can have some.
Yeah.
Lots more news headed your way.
Coming up on News 22 at 6.
And when First News returns, we'll tell you about Mahanoy City's special connection with the history of cable television.
Well, Mahanoy City is known for its coal mining and its Slavic heritage, but did you know that this is also the city where the cable television industry was born? Back in 1948, an appliance store owner named John Walson was having trouble selling his TVs because there was poor reception in Mahanoy City. He got the idea of taking a signal from an antenna on a mountain where the signal was good and then cabling it down into people's homes. At first, there were just 8 homes wired for cable, but these days, Service Electric, which wires this area, has over 200,000 customers wired up to cable television.
And that brings us to the end of First News this Friday. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on News 22, Penny Lindgren will tell us about some busy bees in Wayne County.
And we'll be back with more live from your hometown in Mahanoy City, including a sampling of the best of the Slavic Festival. News 22 at 6 from Mahanoy City, your hometown. This is.
Let's go get some blini, wanna?
A constant problem for beekeepers in Wayne County seems to be black bears who tear apart the hives to get at the honey all summer long. It would mean new industry for Hazleton, so why don't the folks there want it? We'll find out as News 22 continues. And the future looks bleak for one Schuylkill County factory. We'll go to our live hometown site in Mahanoy City for that story as News 22 continues. There's a lot going on in the area this weekend, including the Slavic Festival in Mahanoy City and Schuylkill County. Our live hometown crew is there. Let's check in with Debbie Dunleavy and Larry Sperano to see what's going on. Guys, bring us back some pierogies, please.
All right, Liz.
We will, Liz.
It is fine out here, and Debbie and I were saying that it's like being frozen in time, being in the street, because the houses that line the street on both sides Many of them were built back in the late 1800s by the companies for the coal miners, and they've remained unchanged and kept in very good shape.
Very quaint and very clean, too. These are a very religious people. A lot of their social activities revolve around the church. There are 22 churches in Mahanoy City. It's a 22-block-long city, and there are 22 churches, like St. Mary's Byzantine Catholic Church, which is sponsoring the Slavic Festival this weekend.
Well, not all pleasant news this evening, however, because there is diminishing hope tonight for the future of a manufacturer which once employed several hundred people in this area. More than 200 workers had jobs at Zapata making bottle caps until the factory was forced to close in December. Now it employs only 30 folks who are gradually winding things down. News 22 contacted Zapata today to see if a new owner for the plant had been found. We are told that that possibility does not seem likely.
Well, it was a hot one today. A scorcher, would you call it?
I would call it that.
Yeah, but we had a nice ride down in Shopper 22.
But we are down to basics because it is so hot today. But nice, nice being outside, though.
We'll check in with Paul and see how he's sizing up the weekend.
And all right, motorists out there, listen up. If you travel the Turnpike, get ready for a long 9 months. We'll tell you why as News 22 continues live from Mahanoy City.
Here at the Slavic Festival in Mahanoy City, you'll find Carpatho-Russians, Ukrainians, and Slovaks. It's rich in ethnicity, and they're all asking, where's Paul Hepner?
Well, I've been telling them that Paul Hepner's been in the studio today, and for a very good reason. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah, Larry, I'm German, so I don't fit in with the rest of this before things are finished.
You're right. It is starting to darken out here, but still very nice. And the best thing is there's no traffic because we're sitting right in the middle of a street here, and we haven't been ticketed for Jay sitting or whatever.
I like that.
We're welcome.
But speaking of traveling, Lawrence, if your travels next week will be taking you along the Turnpike, the Pennsylvania Turnpike, you may want to pay attention to this. Work on the Lehigh Tunnel will disrupt traffic on the northeast extension of the Turnpike starting Monday. Traffic will be stopped for 15-minute intervals at least 3 times a day during blasting. The delays will be both day and night between the Lehigh Valley Interchange, which is exit 33, and the Mahoning Valley Interchange, which is exit 34. Blasting is expected to last about 9 months, according to the Turnpike Commission.
And more men's semifinal action from Wimbledon today. J.J. Davis with that and sports next.
Plus, tomorrow night's the big night for the Scranton Eagles at the new stadium. First News Sports coming up live from your hometown in Mahanoy City.
We're about to go to J.J. Davis. And J.J., I think a lot of the sports that you report on is sissy stuff compared to some of the dancing that we're going to have here in a little while.
Yeah, the Polka Express is setting up right now in front of St. Mary's Byzantine Catholic Church. And J.J., you ain't covered nothing till you covered a polka dance.
You need lots of energy for the polka.
You got that right, Double D and Larry, but if the folks at home know how I am on the dance floor, I'm sure my feet wouldn't fail me now. And speaking of dancing, me and the boys here are dancing on the old snow cones. One thing about the Slavic Festival, they've got everything. What else they got, Chris?
They got barbecue, lushki, hamburgers.
What about Jason?
Blinis and pierogies, hot dogs, and lost barbecue.
I'll tell you what, they got everything your heartburn or check that your heart desires. Now, funny thing, tonight they eat all this food, and tomorrow they run. Today, the Slavic Festival. Tomorrow, the Slavic Run. It's 8 kilometers, and it's been going on for 7 years.
This year we're going to have approximately 400 to 500 runners. We have runners coming from Illinois, Texas, mostly throughout Pennsylvania, the surrounding states.
Now, this is no small-time race, as you just heard. It's a big event, and an event the local gang wouldn't miss for anything.
For me to compete in this race, of course, I'm running with a lot of friends from Mahanoy City and the trophies, and people recognize me when I go down the street. They all know I'm a runner, and I feel good after the race.
This race brings everybody together. As far as the community goes, it brings the fire companies together, the rescue, the ambulance, the school district. Everybody pitches in and tries to make this the best race that they can.
Today, the Slavic Festival. Tomorrow, the Slavic Run. 8K in length, OK in the hearts of many. OK, indeedy. Now, if you're not into running, why not football? Football? That's right. Tomorrow night at Lackawanna County Stadium, the Scranton Eagles kick off their season. For more, here's Stuck Howard. And that'll just about do it from here. Chris, what's your favorite kind of snow cone?
Lime.
Yours?
Cherry.
Terry, what the heck you drinking or eating lime for?
Just a change.
Just a change. Back to you, Double Dan, Larry.
Good answer. Why not? When News 22 continues, we'll be still here at the Slavic Festival, but we'll return to the studio to touch base with Liz.
But we'll also be back with lots of nice friends here from Mahanoy City, live from your hometown. Hey!
For the last word, let's go back to our live hometown. Deb and Lara are at the Slavic Festival in Mahanoy City. Once again, take it away.
Hi, Liz. Well, we've talked about politics, heritage, culture, and history.
Yeah, that's interesting, but I think the reason why people really come to these festivals is because of the food, and Mr. Food Gargiulo is going to tell us about that. Mike?
Larry, thank you very much. And Jean Sisek is here. Jean, tell us about some of the Russian food we have.
Well, we have halushki made in our church kitchen. It's all homemade. We have halupki. We have Italian hot sauce.
Let's stop you and sample some, shall we? JJ, here he is. No, Jean, I want to feed JJ. Now, what are we giving him here?
Halushki.
JJ, here's some halushki. I hope you like it. Good boy. Now we have some more. What do we got here?
We have some halupki.
Don't applaud. Halupki. JJ, a big piece of halupki for you. There he goes. You see, he eats anything. It's all good. Back to you, Deb and Larry.
So, Slava Jesusu Christu.
Ah, boy. Well, we're having a lot of friends here having fun with us, so come on out if you're in the area, live from your hometown, Mahanoy City. I guess it's time to say good night. Bye.
If you see news in the making, call the News 22 Newsline, 1-800-422-WYOU.
Craig, Jill, the closing of the Eagle Shirt Makers Company in Mahanoy City is all the people who live in the Schuylkill County community seem to be talking about today. The move puts 160 people out of work and ends an era in shirt making. Plant managers and employees tell me it's something they never expected. Despite the news, work goes on as usual at Mahanoy City's largest employer. But by the end of June, the machines here at Eagle Shirt Makers will stop. The division of the Crystal Brand Company has been making top-quality dress shirts since 1867, first in Quakertown, then here. Today, you find the shirts in department stores like Macy's and Bloomingdale's. Knowing the shirts will no longer be around is tough for people like Evelyn Masikis, who's been sewing buttonholes and collars here for 45 years.
I'm 72 years old, but I still want to work. And we lost our plans. We're losing it. Can somebody help us?
Management says probably not. The parent company tells local managers sales are way down, but even they don't know why. Perhaps people aren't buying top-quality shirts, or maybe it's foreign competition. Whatever the reason, the closing hit Schuylkill County hard. It follows several other closings and layoffs in the garment industry here, and things aren't looking up. It's frightening for people like Josephine Blymick. She's recently widowed. Trying to keep up a house and paying off medical bills isn't easy.
It looks a little bit rough, because there's no work in this area at all. So, we don't know what we're going to do.
It's going to be hard to find a job, so I guess I'll just keep trying till I find one.
Even if these workers are able to find new jobs, the work probably won't be in Mahanoy City. That's a particular problem for these folks because 80% of them live right in town. Some don't even have cars. So certainly some difficult times ahead for 160 shirt makers in Mahanoy City. Craig, Jill?
Cabinets and cabinet doors. In Schuylkill County, a clothing factory will also shut down by June. It's the Eagle Shirt Makers Company in Mahanoy City. 160 workers there will lose the jobs. This Schuylkill County plant's been making dress shirts since 1867, but for some reason, people just aren't buying as many anymore.